Hang on, there you go.
The Ngalak Court, Our Children, Our Heart project at the Carolee Community School in Willagee. My briefing was intended for the West Australian Education Minister. It addressed the issues of school attendance by Aboriginal children. Overall, the attendance rates at school by Aboriginal children is lower than for non-Aboriginal children. Researchers have found that there are many reasons for Aboriginal children absent from school. Some kids feel the parents being unemployed show they did not need to go to school. Also, where their families lived made it hard for some of them to get to school. Many of these parents needed to have some services to help them understand the appropriate ways of parenting, caring, as they or their mothers or fathers was possibly stolen generation. People did not or could not show their nurturing abilities and how their children should nurture the grandchildren. Some of the specific problems that have been identified by the Telethon Kids Institute include the impact of poverty, a lack of culturally appropriate early childhood education, and care that are respectful of culture, identity, and Aboriginal child rearing practices. Poor recognition or acknowledgement of the strengths of an Aboriginal child and their cultural differences and what these contributed to the knowledge and learning of all children. A need for Aboriginal teachers, education assistants and liaison officers in schools. The inability of many children and families to participate in cultural activities. An ongoing and deep-seated lack of trust in services, workers, schools, kindy and playground, a lack of support in accessing health services for kids, especially ear and speech-related services, the negative impact of a school environment on a child's experience of school, parental disengagement with children's education and or school, and a loss of respect, and of teaching respect, including teaching children self-respect, responsibility and discipline, and boundaries. In a series of community forums run by the Telethon Kids Institute, it was found that 3 specific points needed to be addressed. The first is importance of identity, culture and family kinship network to a child's sense and belonging, pride, confidence and learning. The second is the importance of kids strengthening their Noongar Aboriginal identity through increased cultural knowledge. And the third is building and strengthening children's self-esteem, self-respect, self-confidence and resilience through positive language and encouragement. Supporting and fostering their dreams and aspirations and good role modelling, including when dealing with discrimination and racism. My recommendation was the education system read and hear about one outcome of those community forums, which is the Ngalak Court project at the Carolee Community School in Willagee. This came about because Telethon researchers came and invited the elders of Perth to come out to a big meeting. We understand there were 65 of us there that day. They explained what they were researching about Aboriginal children, Aboriginal people anyway, and asked us what we thought was more important by us, what we feel should be looked at. And for most of us, I believe, was the early learning of the young ones, and that's how this came to be. Okay. When we got accepted and we were asked what we would like to see happen, we said early learning was most important because the young ones didn't know how to go to school and how to react and things like that. So we went around to a lot of the schools to find out if they had early learning, and some had them and had closed and others had no intention. But we found 2 schools that were willing, and that was Armidale and Willagee. And Willagee was closer for me and Larissa. and Oriel came across from Belga. So we were the three that were doing this program. It's a 5-year, when we started it became a 5-year project, and it is now going for another 3 years for Oriel Green, myself and Larissa to get the school underway. Okay, bit more. What's included? Included in the school is we've now hired 2 teachers. Oriel and myself come once a month at least to see how they're going. If they're bringing in new people, we come along to make sure that they are the right people to be included. Our advice is always asked for. Larissa is our manager. She's there all the time, and we have another girl, Nicole, I can't think of her last name, sorry, who does all the typing and note taking. So she's very good. The school principal is very good. His name's Jason, and he went to school there. He went to school with Glenn Pearson, who is the overall CEO of this program, just for the sake of saying what he is. Yeah, so it's been very helpful for us to get this education class going, and we are now going to venture out to find more students to come along by going to Hamilton Hill and Hilton primary schools and communities to see if we can get some children in. But so far, I think it will be working. We also have a Noongar teacher coming in to teach Noongar language, and it's been well received by the principal of the Carolee school. I think enough. Oh God, stumbled.
No, you did well.